Feeling alone, kinda misty, waiting now for you to come. It's cold again, but I know we'll be warm, sitting by the fire and dream. Tell me again with a whisper, little things that I wanna hear, and the stars up above are smiling when they see you holding me so near. I see snowflakes on the chimneys, and the candles have a certain glow, a secret and a song, even church bells sing along, and the children making angels in the snow. Oh, what a gift to be given. How lucky can this soul heart be? And I fall.
It's okay to admit that you need to have some type of blueprint. I mean, I wouldn't have a plumber come in without a blueprint in my house. So as an early parent, sometimes there is some value in being thrown into the fire, right? But also there's some value in realizing when you're in the fire, you got to put it out. So if you have some tools, if there's some options out there for you to learn a little bit more about parenting, then take advantage of it.
Absolutely. Again, there's no go-to book or something we can read to necessarily get us through everything, but there are a lot of good resources out there, and our parent educators are familiar with a lot of those, and a lot of them are parents themselves with a lot of lived experiences, and there's so much that we can learn from one another. A lot of our work brings families together. In the last year and a half, it's been virtually, but we still hold our connection groups because we know there's so much that families can share with other families that can be helpful as they're navigating this really challenging but exciting journey. So yes, we all need support and help in some way, and that's the work of the partnership.
Hello and welcome to day 10 of the 12 Days of Education presented by the Rockingham County Education Foundation. I'm Joe Dexter, glad to have you along, and so glad, so thankful to announce that we have eclipsed the $8,000 total thanks to your support of Education Foundation initiatives. $8,195 raised, 55 donations from our community, inching so close to our $10,000 goal. So thank you so much for your support, and you can help those initiatives by texting EDUCATE to 24365. That's EDUCATE to 24365. We'll talk about some of the great initiatives education-wise in our community today with Principal Tina Chestnut at the Moss Street Partnership School in Reedsville, and so much more. And we've got great giveaways to give away as well as we inch closer to the end of the 12 days of education. Every single day, the gifts keep on giving and they keep on getting better. So we'll talk about that coming up in just a bit. But let's remember why we are here and talk about some of the initiatives of our Education Foundation, including the College Advising Corps, which aims to help low-income first-generation and underrepresented NC high school students attend a college that will serve them well by placing a recent UNC graduate as college advisors in public schools throughout the state. And right here in our community, we are so fortunate to have a college advisor, a near-peer advisor, in every single public high school. In Rockingham County, seniors have felt that impact since 2014, with more than 2,000 Rockingham County students in the public school system reporting submitting at least one college application, and more than $30 million in scholarships have been offered to seniors since 2013. That's a $450 return for every $1 invested in this program. And last academic year, despite all the challenges of the pandemic, despite all the challenges that this world has thrown at us, our seniors were reached 90% of the time in Rockingham County high schools and helped secure $8 million in offered scholarships did those advisors that were in those schools. So as you can tell, a big impact right here in our local community. So thankful to have the College Advising Corps, and thankful for you this year and last year during the 12 days of education, helping fully fund that program for our seniors right here in our hometowns. One other initiative that I got to talk about today, because we're giving away a field trip to one of these trails today, is Trails K-12, advancing equity in the outdoors, starting with students through a system-wide model of change by building access to natural learning spaces in the backyards of schools and empowering teachers and students to use those spaces. As Trails K-12 ambitiously, it looks to offer creative, innovative, and effective outdoor learning spaces to every public school here in Rockingham County by the end of 2024. And thanks to you, during these 12 days of education, we've got a good jump start by texting EDUCATE to 24365. You can continue help us at our core provide a movement to get kids outside in the backyards of their own schools in their natural spaces for structured and unstructured time, and provide a vital tool for teachers right here in our community. Well, it is the 12 days of education. We can talk about the initiatives, and that's a beautiful thing to do. We have to do that because so many great things are going on, but we also got to talk about what's being given away today. How about a $100 children's gift basket from Rockingham County Partnership for Children? The basket includes so many great goodies such as puzzles, books, and craft items. To enter this giveaway, all you have to do to get into all of our 12-day giveaways is text EDUCATE to 24365. That's EDUCATE to 24365. And as mentioned earlier, we will be giving away a field trip today. You get to choose what teacher in what class gets to go on this field trip. The drawing will be for Big Beaver Island Creek, sponsored by the Rockingham County Education Foundation Board of Directors. So that giveaway coming up today. I want to remind you also of some great giveaways as we come closer to a close on the 12 days of education. Tomorrow we'll be giving away that beautiful gold, diamond, and gold bracelet from Arthur's Jewelry in Reedsville, valued at $1,200. So you want to enter that, right? It's beautiful. I don't know where it's going to end up, but it's going to end up someplace good. You got to text EDUCATE to 24365 to get into the giveaway. That's EDUCATE to 24365. Also, our grand prize giveaway will be giving away a weekend stay in the lovely oceanfront Holt Condo on Caswell Beach. And of course, to enter, you text EDUCATE to 24365. And I want to take just a quick moment to thank all of those that have donated these giveaways to help us raise funds for the Education Foundation. Without them, it wouldn't be possible to have such fun during the 12 days of education. You're looking at giveaways valued at over $5,000 throughout this beautiful 12 days of education. As we welcome in our guest here today on the 12 days of education, it's Principal Tina Chestnut. How you doing? It's good to see you.
Doing well. Thank you for having me. Good to see you too.
I always love talking to you about education because I know you're so passionate about it. And it starts with, as an elementary principal, that's not just your only background. You've seen it all from middle school to high school. Just give us an overall narrative of why it's important to continue initiatives and looking at new initiatives in education to help our students.
Absolutely. I think, especially in times now, that the times that we're in now with COVID and all of the restrictions and limitations and people's personal preferences, we've got to put a spin on education that maybe is a little uneasy for all of us because it's very unfamiliar to us. So just trying to identify new ways, safe ways for students and families to get engaged in their learning and excited about learning, and to give a sense of normalcy in some sense, because COVID has definitely shaken things up a lot in education this past year and a half.
You know what I find fascinating about educators is I mentioned this earlier. You could put a concrete wall between teachers and the students, and they'll still find a way to go through it. So it's fascinating just to watch educators continue to grow through this pandemic. Just because there was something that affected us, it doesn't stop what needs to be done. Educators view it that way, don't they? It's something that has to be done is to teach our students and to be there for them in so many different ways.
Absolutely. And kudos to all teachers for what they were able to do. I think about March 13th, the day that, things changed for us
Yeah.
in 2020, and just having to stop so urgently, right? And to see what teachers were able to do to reach out to families and reach out to students and still provide instruction to the best of their ability. And then fast forwarding to fall, August 2021, and being able to have kids back in person, and just seeing teachers persevere and identify new ways, and to be so empathetic to what students and their families are going through, and just putting themselves and their families, um, sometimes just sacrificing so much, and keeping it all together for the sake of students. And teachers have got to be the most genius individuals, right? To
Yes.
see what they put into their classrooms and the lessons that they've created, and again, just trying to have some sense of normalcy for students and parents. Teachers just do it all, so kudos to them for all that they do each and every day.
As an administrator and leader of teachers, what are some things that us in the community as a whole and as parents can do to help out in these times? Because there's always some way we can help, right?
Oh, absolutely. So just reiterating, and whenever there's an opportunity to work with students or to work with children, just reiterating the importance of learning. So I think about heard you mention, and I know about the field trip giveaways that are coming in these, the 12 days of education. Um, Taking advantage of outdoor space. If there's ever an opportunity to get children, young people out into just the community and learn about just even nature here that we have, the things that are native here to Reidsville, to North Carolina. I think about just a community service that is available. So any opportunity to impact a young person, help teachers with that, because there are so many life lessons, that teachers do. In terms of schools and classrooms, if there's ever an opportunity to volunteer, I know that we're very limited right now. Again, referring to COVID, there's some restrictions on people visiting schools. But if there's an opportunity to support a school with materials, supplies, time, resources, they are definitely very appreciative of that. We all are. And just most importantly, just keep teachers and schools administrators in your thoughts and prayers, because we are trying our best to do the right thing by our students and their families, and just making sure that students continue to be given educational opportunities, is what we keep at our forefront, in a safe way as well.
You mentioned the outdoor facilities. You have a beautiful one that opened this year at Moss Street Partnership School in collaboration with Dan River Basin Association and the Rockingham County Education Foundation and the UNCG, all working together. Tell us a little bit about that space and what you've seen so far, and what some things you see could happen in the future for students and teachers at that trail.
Absolutely. We are very proud to be the recipients of an outdoor trail at Moss Street Partnership School. It gives us so much more flexibility. We like to refer to it as our classroom without walls. So being able to have the kids interact with the resources that are available out on the trail, the signage that gives them insight into native plants of North Carolina, of the Reidsville area, being able to just have that outdoor learning experience. very hands-on. And so at the partnership school, one of our guiding principles is to ensure that we have experiential learning that empowers students, and gives them authentic learning experiences. So anytime that our K-5 students can get out to the learning trail and have that experience to
As you can see, the trail pictures here on screen. We're looking to reconnect with Tina. We'll see if we can bring her on here in just a second. It's the 12 days of education. You can text EDUCATE to 24365. That's EDUCATE to 24365 to help these great initiatives. And as Tina was talking about, it's such a great way at Moss Street for those students to get out and learn about the outdoors. There's so many different aspects of learning at these trails as well in the Trails K-12 program that will be beneficial to students as well. When you look at the things that we talk about typically, the ability to learn scientific factors, learning about weather, learning about the animals in the ecosystem. Those are the natural things that we look at and that we first of all think of when it comes to trails and being able to learn. But there's so many different other ways, such as creative journaling and experiencing moments out in nature for the first time for a lot of students. And that brings a lot of value to the table in the Trails K-12 program. And the beautiful thing about it is these trails, especially at Moss Street, is they become community initiatives as well. As we've seen community members use these trails and we've seen community members access this trail. And Tina, there's so many different ways that we can experience these for kids. That's the beautiful thing about it. It's not just one way of learning in these interactive classrooms.
Absolutely. And so just like I said, I think probably the most exciting thing, and the most accessible thing when I think about a K-5 students is using our journals. So our students using interactive journals so that our kindergartners, while they may not be able to write all the words and all the things that they see, they can draw pictures. And so we can use our outdoor facility, K-5, to journal their experience and document what they're seeing and go back to giving each child that authentic learning experience.
Tell us about your experience working with the Education Foundation and the Dan River Basin Association and Tony McGee at Round Rock Design in getting this together.
Oh, it has been just amazing. Going through this journey from the very beginning. Both Tony and Jenny were just gave us so much insight and information. So not being the outdoor person, Tony was able to put it all in layman's term for me and walk me through, and just his vision and knowledge behind, the outdoor facility and how to use outdoor and how to make it user-friendly, child-friendly was a great experience. I'm always excited to speak with him and look forward to the next phases of the trail at Moss Street and working with him. And just everyone has just been so supportive, and constantly revisiting, what can we do to make the trail even more useful and more accessible for our students and the Reedsville community. So it's been a wonderful experience, and I'm so excited about the partnership that Moss Street Partnership School has with Rockingham County Education Foundation, and look forward to having other members of our community come out and visit that trail and learn more about this partnership as well.
I was fortunate to go out there and cut some roots and help in little ways on that trail. But my favorite part of the whole process was after the trail was open, the grand opening, and a teacher came out and was the glow on her face to talk about how she can use that for her students. And it wasn't about the fact, oh yeah, I get to hike, I get to go out there, and I get to introduce these little ones to this. I get to use my experiences to show them what the world is about and how comforting the woods can be. Just having different types of tools for teachers is so imperative, isn't it? And having those options to be able to present them to them. And that's why we do this, right? Is to raise funds for those teachers and students and provide those possibilities.
Absolutely. And a lot of times people think about an outdoor classroom, as a science classroom. It is so much more than that. Our students are able to do any kind of core content, whether it's looking at a math problem and thinking about the distance that they've traveled, or quantifying, creating word problems. Again, I refer to our interactive journal. So they're able to go out and then practice their writing, their art by doing drawing. So it is a living classroom when we talk about that outdoor learning space. And so just to introduce that to students as early as 5 years old is such a benefit to what we're able to do at Moss Street Partnership School.
As I mentioned before we let you out of here, Tina, you've worked at all spectrums. You've had high schoolers, you've been at the middle school level, and now at the elementary level. How imperative is those first few years in school in developing what we see at the high school level and continuing and moving forward as we look at the programs like the College Advising Corps program? It's wonderful to get to that point, but also the stepping stones are early on as well.
Absolutely. One of the things, my husband's a football coach, and I always hear him talking about the foundation and building a house. And so his analogy fits very well with education, in that when you think about education, the foundation of education starts at elementary school. It starts at home and then it comes to elementary school, but that's the bottom layer. And so just like you don't build a house from the roof down, you build it from the bottom up. That's the same thing with education. And so it is imperative that as early as elementary school, we start with those basic skills, and that as kids progress through elementary, middle, and high, that they're just adding to those schools. They're building, adding to their education. They're building their house on a strong foundation, so that when they are given the opportunity to go into colleges and careers, they are well equipped with the skills and the resources they need to be successful. And hopefully, those students who are here in Rockingham County will bring those resources back home, whether they venture out after college career, but bring those skills and those talents and resources back to Rockingham County so that we can continue to have a thriving community.
Well, we're fortunate to have you in our community working with our students. Tina Chestnut, she is the principal at Moss Street Partnership School. Thanks for joining us on the 12 Days of Education, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all well with the family.
Thank you. Same to you. Have a happy holidays. Thank you for having me.
It's the 12 Days of Education. You can support these initiatives by texting EDUCATE to 24365. That's EDUCATE to 24365. I'll go back to trails, roads, and avenues. I firmly believe that if we create these spaces for students to succeed, they will find the path. We have wonderful students in our community, wonderful kids in our community looking to grow. And to have these initiatives to give them an opportunity to grow is so key. And I thank you so much for supporting our initiatives here at the Rockingham County Education Foundation. I mean this with all my heart when I say it. We could not do this without you. We could not provide opportunities for seniors to find college connections. We couldn't put somebody in their lives, an individual that knows what they're going through in a tough time in anybody's life. Remember back when you were 18 and trying to make a decision. So without you and the community support that we have during the 12 Days of Education all year round, it means the world to us, and it means the world to the students and parents that are impacted directly, and the teachers and the administrators and all those that, Jenny, as we welcome in Jenny Edwards, that's the frontline people, right? I mean, we talk about nurses, we talk about doctors, they all play such an important role, in first responders. These teachers are the first line defense in learning, in offense, really. It's not defense, right? They're going after.
Joe, they're heroes. If you go back through some of the videos that actually you put together for the Education Foundation last year of the Teachers of the Year, the nominees, and the teachers who won, you can't listen to those teachers without being incredibly moved by what they do for our kids every day. They truly are heroes, and parents know this. One of the things that's been so popular about the 12 Days of Education this year have been these field trips. parents are and grandparents are so excited about the possibility of being able to go into the class of a teacher of their choice and award the certificate for a field trip. It's just been incredible and heartwarming to see this.
I live with a wife that has not stopped talking about it since she entered to donate. She would love to be able to donate that to our student's teacher, Bailey's teacher, Miss Meeks at Stoneville Elementary. That would be the dream, right? That's the beauty of kind of wading through what's going on. And I know we're going through a tough time right now with COVID kind of resurfacing itself and finding ways. But now that we know a little bit better, we can provide these opportunities outdoors to provide a field trip. A field trip is, remember when you were a kid, a field trip was the world.
I was talking with Fletcher Waynick about this yesterday. Fletcher, he's with the Museum and Archives of Rockingham County, and longtime Rockingham County native, multi-generational. We were talking about these field trips. Fletcher said to me, "I remember every field trip I took when I was a kid, and yeah. I remember just about everything I learned during those field trips when I was a kid." And I sat there and I thought about it, and I thought, yeah, you know what? Me too. They stand out in your memory. Now, you can do a lot of things on the weekend or through the summer, but there's something so special about taking a field trip with your classmates during the school year.
All right, we only got a few seconds here, so I'm going to walk you through how you can enter our giveaways. First of all, we'll take a look at the giveaways for today. A gift basket, children's gift basket from Rockingham County Partnership for Children, which includes so many great goodies for a young one, puzzles, books, and craft items, as well as our trails giveaway for today. We'll be drawing for a trip to Big Beaver Island Creek, sponsored by the Rockingham County Education Foundation and the Board of Directors. Jenny, all you got to do is text EDUCATE 24365. It'll bring up this beautiful page on your phone or your computer, however you choose to do it. You can also find the link in the description of this video to get to the donation page. You can select your area of greatest need, whether it's college advising corps, college campus visits for kids who can't afford it, trails for schools, which we talked a lot about today, and music lessons, the PIC program. We'll talk with Louise Price of Piedmont Instrument Classes for Kids on the 12 Days of Education coming up as well. So that's how you can donate. You can get into that beautiful, beautiful, wonderful, let me click the right button here. There we go. The Golden Teapot. Let's see if we got any new donations during the show, and let's get ready to draw those giveaways.
All right, I'm checking for new donations right now. Now, I don't know how she did this, Tony, but Tina Chestnut made a donation while she was talking with you live. That's a principal and a teacher for you.
Exactly.
They can pull that kind of thing off.
Exactly.
That would befuddle us. So we had to. I did put. Oh, here's her name. So we've got Tina in because she just donated. Joe, we had to let go of the Golden Teapot.
Uh-oh, what happened?
It's okay. It's we still have it. We just have so many great entries now. We had to upgrade to a. We got
to get a bigger bucket.
Yeah, because I couldn't mix them up well enough. It was like I couldn't really shake them. So shall I draw this now?
Go ahead.
I'm so excited about this today because of the field trip that's involved in this. The basket from the Partnership for Children is incredible. The books are wonderful. All right, Drew Barefoot, he's giving to the area of greatest need. I think he has an educator in his close circle in his family. So
awesome.
I will call him and let him know, but Drew Barefoot is the winner today.
Congratulations, Drew, in winning. You will win that wonderful gift basket from the Rockingham County Partnership for Children, and also you'll be able to gift a field trip to Big Beaver Island Creek as for your class of choice and for your teacher of choice. So wonderful. That's just fantastic to be able to give away those two things. Not only is the show great because we get to learn about these wonderful initiatives in education, but we're also giving away things that will provide education. Both items today, how great is that?
I know. This is just like win, 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 win all the way across the board. It's great.
And Melita has a great point. Multitasking is a necessity for educators.
Oh,
that's
Melita,
why I could never succeed there.
She's been so great. I think she's tuned into every show. She is also a donor. Her name is in this pot right here, and I'm rooting for you, Melita. I appreciate you watching every day.
Well, that's the end of day 10 of the 12 days of education. We got some great giveaways to give away in the final 2 days. So make sure you support initiatives here from the Education Foundation by texting EDUCATE to 24365. That's EDUCATE to 24365. Have a great night, Jenny. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
You too, Joe.